Hello and welcome to Executive 8, where we ask executives 8 big questions. I'm John O'Brien, partner with Adam James International Executive Search, and I'm here with Rich Binner, who is a Chief Information Officer of Wheelpros. Wheelpros is located in Denver, and they are a leading designer, marketer, and distributor of car and truck wheels, as well as performance tires and accessories. Welcome, Rich.
Thank you.
You've worked for 2 extremely different industries for most of your career. Crop science with Monsanto, and now automotive parts with Wheelpros. What are some of the strategies and tools you used to successfully transition your IT career from seeds to wheels?
Yeah, thanks, John, and thank you for having me. Really appreciate it. It's interesting as I think about that question. Crop science and wheels are actually similar in many ways. And the way that they're similar is that the customer base, are dealers, okay? And those customers are typically a little bit older and their technology, where they're not as deep into new technology. It's relationships, it's about talking to people, and the wheel industry is very similar. And what we saw in the crop science is that as the new younger guys were coming in to become dealers, they were expecting technology upgrades. They were looking to become more in that want to interact with technology versus interacting with people. And so we need to be on that forefront if we're going to continue to be leaders in this space.
That's great. So which portion of IT do you think is more important to any organization? Is it the information or is it the technology?
Information. It's information for sure. I mean, technology is technology, but how you leverage that, how you leverage the information to make decisions, to become better to your customers, better service to your customers, information is key.
Okay. So when you're recruiting individuals to come and work on your team in your IT organization, what are the things you're looking for? What are the common threads? What are the must-haves that you look for?
One of my key questions I ask is, there's 2 key questions. Tell me the thing you're most proud of in your career. What have you delivered? And what have you failed on? And those 2 will tell me how big of efforts, how much risk someone has taken in their career.
So I'll follow up with that. What have you failed on?
Oh my gosh, how long do we have? So I will say that every year, there's a failure of some sort, right? And something that if you're not failing, that means you're either not trying hard or you're not self-aware that you're messing up. So, I will say that more. I'll just take it back a few years. Misjudged this integration of this new SAP or the SAP HR platform we were putting in place. Misjudged the level of integration in with a very important account management system that we had, and we fumbled. And but we had to adapt and became stronger as a result.
So, if you're to give guidance to an IT professional that's maybe early on in their career, and they aspire to be a CIO at some point, what kind of guidance would you give them?
Yeah, the thing is, I've been a CIO now for a year and a half, and the thing I'm realizing is that you have to be strong in all disciplines. You need to understand security, infrastructure, applications, customers, the new trends that are happening out there. You have to understand all aspects of that, because if you don't, you could fail. So that's what I would share.
Good.
And again, the whole risk thing, I was saying, don't be afraid to take those risks. Taking risk and doing something you have no idea about is first off, it's rewarding, but second, it pays off in the end.
Great. Well, speaking of risk, currently there is an incredibly increased use of hybrid cloud, of multi-cloud, of fog computing, edge computing, etc. What's your formula to decide which elements to move where?
Yeah, giving where Wheelpros and how we are structured as an IT organization, we're not in the data center business. We've had outages because an electrician was taking out a wash line and blew up our UPS and took out our data center and our most important platforms. I don't want to be in the data center business. I'm looking to get as much into the big public clouds that I can, and then focus more on capabilities and driving that customer experience, driving data and analytics, and focus on that side of it versus the hardware side of things.
Is it a productivity question, or is it a profitability question, cost efficiency, or both?
It's honestly, there's the capabilities that we can do and speed to market, speed to innovation. There's so much new stuff happening. As an example, in AWS, we were just looking at some capabilities that are so cheap in the big scheme of things that it's a few clicks and I can take data from one of our key platforms, our UCaaS, our Unified Communications as a Service, over to AWS, where I can get that in a raw zone, and we could start merging that with other data. I mean, it's literally clicks. So there's a lot of those kind of capabilities that I can get speed to market so much faster than hiring a developer like you would traditionally have done in the past.
So this might seem like an interesting question or a confusing one, but should the CIO be leading a democracy or a dictatorship?
Oh, it's democracy for sure, because I'm not just going to be the smartest person in the room for sure. I've always done that. I am absolutely so far away from being a dictator that it is absolutely democracy.
Okay. So what challenges and risks keep you up at night?
I think security. I mean, you look at everything that's happening right now. How many different companies get hacked on a daily basis? That is, you could take a complete business down if you don't take security serious, and then disaster recovery afterwards.
So to wrap things up here, who's been your biggest influencer in your career, and how have they affected you?
Yeah, so I think it has to be Winston Churchill. I mean, he went against the grain, took significant risk, as I was mentioning earlier. Didn't know how it was going to turn out, and look at the success that we have in this world as a result of the decisions that he made. So, kind of going against the grain helped us all. So,
not a typical answer that you'd expect from a CIO.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, Rich. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming in. And that's the Executive 8.